Pounding her fist against the ground, Adagio screamed in rage as tears fell down her face.
Why? Why must they ruin my life?
Aria lowered her head, hiding her tears from the others. Sonata kneeled next to Adagio and wept with her.
I guess it's because...
This is all your fault, Adagio.
Adagio's head jerked up and she faced Aria in confusion and anger.
What did you just say?
Aria lifted her head and met Adagio's eyes in pure fury, her mascara running down her cheeks as more tears appeared.
If you weren't so stupid, we wouldn't be in this mess. If you actually made a better plan and waited for the right time, we would have had enough power to take over Equestria.
Sonata flinched away from the two girls as Aria stomped her foot and raised her fists.
We could have killed those pathetic rainbooms if you weren't such a complete show-boasting cunt!
Girls?
A show-boasting cunt, huh? Well, at least I'm not sure emo who doesn't give a fuck about anybody. I care for you two. And what do you do in return? Nothing! You have no right to say anything!
Aria lunged towards Adagio and tackled her. Adagio lost her breath as her back slammed against the cement. She could feel Aria's fist slamming against her face and gut, but since she was out of breath, she couldn't fight back. Sonata sat there watching in horror as the two girls fought on the sidewalk.
Aria, stop!
Sonata quickly grabbed Aria's arms and struggled to separate the two, but Aria's elbow hit Sonata in the face, which caused her to fall back in shock. She whimpered in pain as she tasted blood in her mouth. As soon as Aria heard the whimper, she stopped and looked behind her. Seeing Sonata on the ground, she immediately arrived at Sonata's side.
Oh my god, I am so sorry!
Sonata scooted away from her. Blood dripped from her mouth. Her eyes wide with terror, and her right cheek was beginning to bruise. Adagio sat up and rubbed her face as she watched Aria try to comfort Sonata. Pain shot through her stomach and face. Her head began to throb while she shook her head, trying to clear her vision. Aria's vision began to blur. She glared at Adagio.
This would never have happened if you actually thought this through.
She turned to Adagio and clenched her teeth.
If you cared so much about us, you would have planned the whole take over the world scenario better.
Adagio stared at Aria.
You really think this is all my fault you attacked me? And you hurt her, and she had nothing to do with this.
Aria looked at Sonata, giving her a sorrowful look. Then, looking back at Adagio, she smiled.
If you really care about us, then you would have let me be in control. I would have led us to glory. We would have been feasting on those pitiful ponies back home. But instead, you led us to live in the streets, with everyone knowing what we do. We'll starve to death because of you.
Sonata began to cry, her body shaking. Aria embraced her into a hug. She brushed her hand down Sonata's hair. Sonata began to calm down until a sudden pain enveloped the middle of her body. She looked to see that Aria had stabbed her gut. More pain flowed through her body as Aria repeatedly stabbed her.
Aria!
Adagio screamed as she witnessed the scene.
What are you doing?
Sonata's eyes rolled to the back of her head and her body fell limp. Aria let go of her and turned to Adagio, a piece of her pendant in her hand, covered in blood. Adagio's eyes widened, the pain in her stomach stopping her from moving.
Aria?
Her voice quavered as Aria stood up and walked up to her slowly. A giggle escaped from Aria, then a laugh.
This will teach you not to be so selfish next time. Well,
she looked at the pendant piece in her hand.
If there even is a next time.
Shock paralyzed Adagio from her shoulders to her feet.
But why kill Sonata?
She needed to be put out of her misery. After all, it was your fault she came to that state.
Aria's expression changed from crazy to pure rage.
You're an idiot, and you'll die as one.
As quick as lightning, Aria dived at Adagio and sliced the pony piece across Adagio's throat. Blood flooded out of the cut. Adagio's eyes began to dull, and her body fell heavily to the cement. Aria stood up, wiping some of the blood off of her face, and walked in the direction toward Cantalon High Street.